What's up, everybody, and welcome on back to the episode of the My Side of Things podcast. This is now episode 17. I'm your host, as always, Ash. We got a whole lot of things in the docket to get to today, including talking about Seth Rollins and his new faction. What's the outlook? What is going to be the overall makeup of this group? We also got to talk about Roxanne, Perez, and Cora, Jade. Is this feud potentially getting dropped for other things? We also got to talk about Mr. Ricochet and his whole role within AEW. We also got to talk about The Rock, and is he the one that's actually destroying WWE, or is it somebody else? We're also going to be doing a quick run-through of Monday Night Raw, NXT Tuesday, and AEW Dynamite, just because I did not get to drop episodes, or at least I didn't get to drop an episode before Dynamite relating to Monday Night Raw, NXT Tuesday. I don't know why I call it NXT Tuesday. That's so weird, but the reason why I didn't, just real quick for those of y'all that are on YouTube, I don't know if it's glitched yet. It's like a little thing going on my camera right now. I got to get a new camera. I am in the process of getting one. The glitches aren't happening like so much to where like the video is just unwatchable by any means. It just happens like once every so like often. It's like probably like 3 to 4 times like throughout the video. It's not ruining anything like that. It's like be like a little across the screen and all that. I don't even know if that explained what the heck it was. A little group. I don't know. But yeah, no, I am in the process of getting a new camera, so that's why I was like, I didn't want to drop one like the other day because I was getting really frustrated with it, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead, record some other stuff. I think I might have put that stuff also on this channel as well. I'm not sure exactly yet. But wherever you listen to this podcast at, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, like, subscribe, follow, rate, all that dang good stuff. Share with your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your grandpa, and everybody else you love, including that man that y'all love the most, Mr. Triple H. Because, yep, Ash is ready to come in here and say, this ain't on no Rock, man. A lot of y'all are blaming The Rock because of the fact that, like, he's ruining WWE by spilling all the beans. I'm going to be real with you, man. Let's first talk about why y'all blaming The Rock. Because Dave Meltzer, which I don't even know why we're even, watching Dave Meltzer when apparently nobody likes the man, but y'all want to watch this man 24/7. Dave Meltzer was basically going on a rant about The Rock not being at WrestleMania, even though he said he was going to be there and all that stuff. And The Rock responded in the comment section, which is the funniest thing ever. The Rock says, "Hey, Dave." Oh, no, my bad. He says, "Hi, Dave." Really? You think he would say hey? I don't know. Rock looks more like a hey dude, not a hi dude, but whatever, man. The business is a complete work. Always has been, always will be. Every aspect of it. Every match, every interview. Please join me, Cody, Cena, Brian, and the rest of us for our creative discussions so you can expand your perspective. Until then, stop ranting. It's not healthy, my friend. Enjoy the show. P.S. Tell Bubba I have a Grand Marnier, I think, or Marnier, or I don't know. I'm not a rich person. And I also don't drink, so I don't know. And hush puppies for all of us. Why are we telling puppies to be quiet? That's really weird. I like puppies, man. We ain't gotta tell puppies to be quiet. Although I will say, man, when the puppies start barking a little too much, and I'm busy and all that stuff, that's when it do begin like a little bit of a headache. But like when they be barking, I ain't got nothing to do. I be barking right back at them. So I mean, I don't know why we're telling puppies to be quiet. Maybe The Rock was busy. You know what? The Rock was also busy trying to go at Dave Meltzer. So that makes a lot of sense. The Rock and Dave Meltzer beefing in 2025 was definitely not on my bingo card, by the way. That's not how I was expecting this year to go. Oh my gosh. But a lot of people are mad at The Rock for basically outing WWE and, continuing to ruin kayfabe and saying that everything is a work and that all this stuff and yada, yada, yada. Here's the issue with this. Triple H has also been doing this as well, and nobody gives him anything for it. A lot of y'all will just say that, oh, it's XYZ's fault. It's TKO's fault. It's the talent's fault. Like last year, y'all was blaming Cody Rhodes, or y'all was blaming Bayley, or y'all was blaming Nia Jax, or y'all was blaming the tag division of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, R-Truth, and The Miz, or y'all was blaming the mid-card guys of Sami Zayn, and who had the U.S. belt around this time? I forgot. It might have been... No, I'm blaming Logan Paul. No, I'm blaming Triple H and Logan Paul for that one right there. No, sorry, Logan. You ain't getting a pass here, buddy. But y'all blaming everybody else but the man in charge, Triple H. This is the man that creates all the storylines. He okays all the storylines. Well, he doesn't only create them, obviously, it's him and the whole Riot team and all that stuff. But he's the one that's giving the okay on all these dang storylines to be going on, all these dang decisions to be happening. Why do we not just say that it's on him for this WrestleMania? You can blame The Rock by saying, oh, The Rock wasn't there at WrestleMania. It wasn't going to fix WrestleMania. I'm sorry. Maybe for like the casual fans, it would have, because y'all would have said, okay, well, it ended great night one, and it would have ended great night two had The Rock showed up. Does The Rock showing up for the John Cena Cody Rhodes match actually fix anything? It was a bad match. It was a boring match. It was literally just John Cena spamming the AA, and then like one or two moments where he used his submission and stuff. Like no, I don't think The Rock fixes that match. It was just boring. And I'm gonna be real, Triple H made the feud boring to begin with. We had Cody Rhodes. No, my bad. We had we had Cody Rhodes get attacked at Elimination Chamber. Great, sounds pretty cool. Then we had Cody Rhodes come out on Friday Night SmackDown. Then we had him come out on Monday Night Raw, and then Friday Night SmackDown again, saying the exact same promo that could have just been on the original Friday Night SmackDown. Then we had John Cena come out on, I think the following Monday Night Raw. So there was one Monday Night Raw where he didn't come out, and then the next one he did. He comes out, explains everything. Then Cody Rhodes comes out. You guys have a stare down. Cody Rhodes don't even try to fight back. You're telling me Cody Rhodes has to be so much of a babyface that the dude can't even attack the man that was whooping his ass. This is stupid. It's the same thing you did with Bayley. She couldn't use a kendo stick in a match that allowed a kendo stick? Really? Like, it's dumb. If this was Spider-Man, if Spider-Man done got his ass whooped by the Green Goblin, you think the next time he see the Green Goblin and the Green Goblin is talking bad about everybody and antagonizing everybody, trying to start a fight, you think Spider-Man's not going to fight him? You think he's not? Oh, maybe y'all are Batman fans. Maybe y'all just don't care when the good guy doesn't do anything to the bad guy. Maybe y'all just want that to happen. Maybe y'all just want John Cena to run around wild, causing havoc and all that stuff, and for Batman to sit on his ass doing nothing, like Batman always does. Maybe that's what it is. Cody Rhodes could have hit him. You want to know why Cody Rhodes could have hit him, though? Because he hit AJ Styles, who was handcuffed with steel steps, and then stood on the steel steps like freaking Drago. What the hell? He could try to unalive Kevin Owens with an Alabama slam through the freaking, my bad. Just like Triple H, I had to also clean up some stuff. My whole dang PC got full, I guess. I don't know what the heck was going on with that. But, like I was saying, he tried unaliving Kevin Owens with an Alabama slam through the dang ladder. You're telling me that Cody Rhodes couldn't get his get back any other way other than John Cena goes for the weirdest punch in the world, Cody goes for the weirdest counter in the world, and then Crossroads. You know, I'm not even going to lie to you. That right there should have let me know that this match was going to be a shit show. It was weird buildup of one of your biggest feuds of all time of John Cena, Cody Rhodes that could have went down as the greatest Mania main event of all time. Now there's reports that, oh, well, John Cena was supposed to turn heel at Mania. Oh, so just like Ash said. And everybody tried telling me, oh, you're just a fantasy booker. You don't know what you think. You don't know what you're saying. Hey, yo, you know what, man? Maybe I ain't so much of a fantasy booker, man. Maybe I be knowing a thing or two. Maybe it ain't that hard to come up with some storylines over here. I be trying to tell you I'm a writer and all this stuff. But, like, even if John Cena turned heel at Mania, even if he did, I still think the Mania would have been a shit show regardless. I still don't think it would have been a good Mania. You had I hate going back to this point, but you had AJ Styles lose to Logan Paul. Guess what you also had right there? AJ Styles, former TNA legend that helped build up TNA, versus the current guy that's trying to keep TNA afloat, who's also the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and Joe Hendry at WrestleMania. Imagine if we had got that match. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about viral moment? That right there is a viral moment. No, instead we need the viral moment of Randy Orton. Well, no, I'm not going to call it a quote-unquote viral moment because it definitely was a viral moment of Randy Orton RKOing Joe Hendry. Cool, whatever. You have Bianca, I mean, not Bianca. You have Jade and Naomi in a match together. You don't want to put a stipulation on it because it's the first match of 20-something years that actually, because it's the first match in 20-something years that between two women had no stipulation at Mania. Man, I don't care about that, dude. Nobody does. Throw Bianca in as a special guest referee. You did it for Rhea and Io for really no reason at all. It didn't need one. You could have just had the regular refs there and just said, hey, Bianca, you're banned from ringside. That'd have been much easier. Mind you, you had a horrible setup to Bianca, Rhea, and Io that I gave you like 5 different other ways that would have made it 10 times better, but you ain't want to do that. So this whole, Triple H was going to save Mania by having John Cena turn that Mania, it wouldn't have worked. You had Bianca involved in a storyline with Jade and Naomi, and then you remove her from it. You partially remove her from it. Then you randomly have Naomi come out before the Friday Night SmackDown before WrestleMania, and you have Jade come out, and Bianca tries stopping Jade, even though she literally gave Jade the okay like 2-3 weeks ago. What are we doing? What are we doing? That would have set up a great moment at WrestleMania to have Bianca Belair be the special guest referee, all the emotions involved in that match. It would have been one of the best matches of all time. And I guarantee you it wouldn't have looked as mid as it did look. And I say mid in the terms of average. It wouldn't have looked as average as it did look had you had Bianca involved, because the emotions would have just overtaken what was actually happening in the match, which was Jade still not being able to wrestle at an elite level or even at a, great level, and Naomi carrying the match. It would have just overtaken all that. And you also could have had Bianca leading the match as well, because she obviously is a person who could lead a match, and it's not as similar to a regular ref being in there. For Jey Uso and Gunther, you had 10 weeks of bull. You had 10 weeks of bullshittery. You had you had 2 weeks where it looked good, but the other 8 were trash. The Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, you have Jey Uso coming out. It's just me, Uso. Day 1, it's just me, Uso. Buddy, why are we eating now? Didn't you just say a few days ago that we not doing all the... you didn't say it, but didn't just a few days ago you didn't do all the eating? You came walking down all serious. WrestleMania, you're walking down all serious. Bro, what are we... And then we don't have a Hell in a Cell match. We don't have a last man standing match. We don't have a ambulance match. We don't have any kind of stipulation for this match. We don't even have the guys brawl before the match. We don't even have Naomi and Jade brawl before the match. You could have done either one of these brawls before the matches. I don't know why you didn't. I don't know why you didn't. It's not that hard. And I'm going to be real with you. What it feels like is Triple H was playing it safe with his wrestlers because he didn't want anybody to get hurt. Look at, man, I love that. We don't want our wrestlers to get hurt. This is WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania. You know what you could do if wrestlers get hurt? Hey, yo, Roxanne, we need a match for Io Sky because maybe Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair got hurt. Hey, let's see, Trick Williams, or maybe not Trick Williams. Femi, we need you to come up here and have a match with Jey Uso. Why we need this match? We're going to throw this match together because we just want to see who is the best champion. We need something like that. We need that at Backlash. That'd be fine. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. It would give Femi something to do instead of having to have, what's going on right now going on, which is another Trick Williams match because we really needed that. It's WrestleMania season. This is basically this is like your NBA championships, your Super Bowl, your World Cup, your World Series, your Stanley Cup. This is what this is. I don't even know. Is that what the hockey finals is called? Is it called the Stanley Cup Finals? I'm pretty sure it is. If not, shout out to the best looking trophy in sports. Well, actually, second best looking trophy because that World Cup trophy looked absolutely amazing. But the Stanley Cup looked hella good too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I definitely want one of them damn trophies. I don't even think it's called a Stanley Cup trophy. It's like, y'all know I don't watch hockey at all, man. But this is the biggest moment of your wrestling season. If somebody gets hurt, I'm sorry to say this, it might sound insensitive, but somebody just gets hurt. It's whatever. Go away, recover for a while, come back. We'll figure out how to get you popping again if we need to get you popping again. I'm pretty sure all your big stars are fine. I'm pretty sure Jade and Naomi would be fine. I'm pretty sure that Jay and Gunther would be fine. I'm pretty sure that Cody and Cena would be fine. You could have had a brawl with these guys before the match. I didn't do that. I'm pretty sure that Roman, Seth, and Punk will be fine. Roman's probably going to be taking a few years off anyways. We know how that man is. All of these folk would have been fine. You ain't even have much great storylines going into WrestleMania because the booking was trash. We did New Day and War Raiders and did nothing with the match. Liv and Raquel lost to Becky and Becky and Io. Becky and Lyra. Damn, I just called this woman every other name but her actual name. You had them lose that match, and then Monday Night Raw afterwards, they get the belts back. What the? Bruh. No, man. Triple H can get it right every blue moon. But every other moon that's just a regular white, this man don't get it right. This man, he is the one to blame. He's the one to blame for WrestleMania because y'all even said that WrestleMania looked boring this year. So now we're blaming The Rock because The Rock done opened his big ass mouth and basically made it so easy to blame him. If The Rock hadn't said a word, we would all still be looking at Triple H. But because all of a sudden Rock want to open his big old mouth with his bald ass head, now we're back to blaming The Rock. All right, man. No, this is on Triple H. Y'all got to just be honest with yourselves. Triple H is not that guy. He's not that guy, y'all. I'm sorry to say this. I know he might be a lot of y'all goats, but one of my goats, LeBron James, shows that he can run a not only coach a team, but he could also be a general manager and be a great one. Triple H is looking very Michael Jordan-esque. He might have looked good in the ring, but when he got into the office, it just was a thing of ugliness. It was ugly as hell, and it just was a big no. Hell no. This looked ass. And this man needs to just step down. I think that's just what it is. Or go back to NXT and run things with Shawn Michaels. I think him and Shawn Michaels will probably be great in NXT because Shawn Michaels can't run the men's division at all. I'm sorry to say that. That man sucks at the men's division. But Triple H could run the men's division. Have Triple H focus on the men. Have Shawn Michaels focus on the women because that's all he can focus on. That man be on IG looking at just all the IG thoughts and all that stuff. You don't look at anything else. They all look the exact same in NXT. Just have these two running NXT and let somebody else run WWE. One of my good mutuals, Original Zodiac, he said, on TikTok, by the way, he said, why not have Fit Finlay run it? Fit Finlay has done a great job with the women's division. And then I think the men's division kind of just writes itself. You have a bunch of superstars, dude. Get it, literally anybody. If Fit Finlay could also run the men's division, bring in Gail Kim, or have Stephanie McMahon run the women's division. One of the two. Gail Kim was making the women's division look awesome in TNA. I want her in AEW, but if she goes to WWE and fixes the damn women's division and we get Triple H on out of there and we put him down to NXT and we have Fit Finlay running the damn men's division while also helping out with the women's division, I think WWE would be back to being great again. Which ain't that the point? Ain't it make WWE great again over there? Oh, man, my bad. It's make America great again over there. My bad. But this man cannot run WWE. I think it's just that simple now. And a lot of y'all gotta just be okay with that Triple H cannot do the job that y'all thought that he could do. Is he probably a better person than Vince McMahon? Most likely. I don't think he's doing any of the crazy stuff that Vince McMahon's doing, although he may be doing some of the racist stuff that Vince McMahon's doing. You look at Samantha Irvin's not being able to be any other kind of roles, but Kathy Kelly could get in. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I ain't even gonna stay on that topic because I can go on a whole 50-minute rant about that stuff. But no, this man just deserves to not have the spot he's in. He only got it because he was Vince McMahon's son-in-law and he married Stephanie McMahon. And it just has not been good. It looked great in NXT. It does not look good on the main roster in the slightest. The stories that he's been able to make cinema, they were the easiest stories in the world to write. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Buddy, I could have gave that to one of my students and they would have wrote a great story. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. Buddy, I could have gave that to one of my students and they would have made that absolutely amazing. It's not that hard. I'm going to be real with you. It's not that hard to write some of these storylines, man. It's really, really not. I'm not trying to say that he's not impressive. No, actually, I am trying to say he's not impressive because he hasn't impressed me for most of the dang thing, which is weird because this guy's a tag team. This guy was a tag team dude in a faction and all that stuff, but can't write anything for the tag teams. Can't do anything for the mid card. Yeah, he wanted that mid card belt so bad. He wanted the Intercontinental belt so bad. I don't get it, man. I don't get it, but that's y'all boy though. But since we are on this whole, kind of like Monday Night Raw stuff, let's go ahead and jump into some of the big things that did happen to Monday Night Raw. Like I said, I want to kind of like speed rush through a few things. Dominic Mysterio still with Judgment Day. Don't fully get it, but it looks like he is going to kind of be in that MJF kind of role where he'll be a heel that's loved by a lot of people, but wanting to be a face. Maybe he'll give us a face one. A face one. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a face one from Dominic Mysterio. I want y'all to know that's actually what I'd be doing before I even start the podcast up or start any kind of recording sessions up. I'd just be making a bunch of random ass noises. Oh man, yep, definitely autistic. Oh my gosh, man. But we're probably gonna get that with Dominic Mysterio. A little bit of a face run, not too much of a big thing. Then we had John Cena and Randy Orton. Cool. I'm assuming that we're going to get it at Backlash. John Cena probably going to slap the ref. We're not going to get a great match there in Backlash because it's in St. Louis. We're not going to get a great match in Randy Orton's hometown. Why would we get a great match? Because John Cena doesn't want to give a great match. We'll get a great moment, though, if John Cena is slapping the shit out of a ref like how Randy Orton did in their match. So, hey, either way, John Cena, you got two choices. Either A, you slap the ref and have a bad match, or B, well, it'll still be a great match in my opinion, or B, you go out there, put a 5-star classic on, and then you say, it was all just Cody Rhodes' fault. It's one of the two. And they really, see, this is my other issue with Triple H. You've written yourself into a horrible corner because if John Cena has a great match with Randy Orton, like I already said the last episode, everybody's gonna make fun of Cody Rhodes and hate him even more. So unless you plan on unless you plan on turning Cody Rhodes even sooner, it's not going to work. So you have to have a bad match with Randy Orton, and you just have to have a bunch of bad matches going forward and hope that the fans actually get back on Cody Rhodes' side, or we do a much bigger thing, which is having Cody Rhodes not go after the WWE Championship. We haven't go after the World Heavyweight Championship. Not Jey Uso's World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship, because Seth Rollins starting a new faction, and it does look like he's going to be eventually dethroning Jey Uso, probably within like a month or two. I think Jey has like a little just feel-good moment. Because like for Jey Uso, it does look like he's probably going to get turned on by Sami Zayn. I think that's very much so happening. All the things have been aligning. If Sami Zayn does fall under the spell of Karrion Kross that everybody else had, that everybody else became a heel, Sami Zayn will become a heel, and it looked like he was going to turn heel. There was multiple moments where he's like just standing behind Jey Uso. He was waiting for Jey to get up onto the ropes and all that stuff. At one point in time when he was walking out of the ring, he was the one that was at the back of it. It was Jimmy Uso, then Jey Uso that was in front. It's looking like it's going to be Sami. I don't think it's going to be Jimmy. It could be Jimmy, and Jimmy be like, I keep having to die for you to get all this successful stuff and all that. So, which, let me tell you right now, that he ain't going to be a heel. He's going to be right. This guy's going to be 100% right. Died the Roman, was getting his ass whooped. Well, him and Jay were actually getting their ass whooped by Edge and Daniel Bryan and all them when it came to Roman, and then he, died again when it came to, Gunther. So, it could be, but I think Jey Uso's probably going to lose that belt very, very soon. He'll probably have like a cool little emotional feud with Sami Zayn, and I think by Money in the Bank, I think that's where Seth Rollins would potentially get the World Heavyweight Championship from Jey Uso. If he continues to attack him afterwards, I think that's where Roman Reigns could come out, and then we can get Roman versus Seth at SummerSlam, although I don't think that Roman's actually going to care about Jey Uso getting attacked because this man didn't even come out to cheer with him. Literally in the same building as him, couldn't even come out to cheer with them. That's crazy. You know what you could have done there? Because everybody said like, oh, well, it's to create shock value. You could have had Roman Reigns come out and then all of them say, hey, let's go out to eat for Jey Uso winning. And then they all, they all leave. We see them all leave in the car. And then here comes Roman Reigns to come back for Seth Rollins and say that, even though Roman's cousin won the championship, his guy that, he finally got back on his side, even though he won the championship, he's still so concerned with Seth Rollins. That creates a really good storyline right there. It continues the thing with Roman Reigns that he's so obsessed with Seth Rollins, that it's always been him, that he is a thorn in Roman Reigns' side, and no matter what Roman Reigns does, this guy is always going to be there to just pester him, to just get him off track, and it would have been so great. But you didn't do that. But it does look like Seth Rollins is going to potentially be the guy to dethrone Jey Uso because of the fact that now he has a new faction with himself, Paul Heyman, and now his new guy, Braun Breaker. A lot of people are saying this is Evolution 2.0. I don't think so. I think this is going to be Dangerous Alliance 3.0. I don't remember how many Dangerous Alliances we had, but we had a few of them, though. I think it was only 2 of them, because I do think that Becky Lynch is going to be a part of this group. I don't think Becky Lynch will be a part of the group if it was Evolution 2.0, although I wouldn't be mad about having a woman in the group. I think Dangerous Alliance makes a lot more sense, though, because this is a dangerous alliance. Seth Rollins, the architect. Braun Breaker is an absolute beast. Becky Lynch is looking like she's back to the man after taking out Lyra Valkyria after they lost their belts. Also, by the way, Lyra Valkyria no-sold that attack like 2 or 3 times until Becky Lynch finally did put her ass down. But even when she did finally put her ass down, Lyra Valkyria was still no-selling the damn attack. So Lyra Valkyria went from looking really great the past 2 shows to once again going back to old Lyra Valkyria. Good job, Lyra. But yeah, no, I would like to see Becky Lynch in this kind of role, or in this kind of faction, taking over the women's IC division, just destroying everybody within the division and being a part of this dangerous alliance, while also having the likes of maybe an Austin Theory in the group. I would probably like it more if it was Evolution, having Evolution 2.0 having Austin Theory in it, but I mean, to be fair, having Theory in it isn't the worst thing in the world. And you could easily have a thing of like Theory turns on Waller and just starts destroying him and stuff like that to prove himself to the Dangerous Alliance that he does deserve to be a part of it. Theory also was, you know, at one point in time, Seth Rollins' Messiah. Oh, no, one of Seth Rollins' what is the person that follows the Messiah called? I'm blanking on this word. Whatever the heck it's called. His disciples, I think. Was it is it a disciple that follows the Messiah? Sure, why not? Let's go with that. Yeah, no. Austin Theory could easily just be Seth Rollins' disciple, or that, whatever the hell you want to call it, his people, whatever you want to say. He could be that guy for Seth Rollins, and then I guess you integrate him into the group. Maybe he starts out as like a jobber and then finally gets over. Or he starts off just continuing to try to prove himself, and then he finally does get over with the group. But like within like a few months of getting over with the group, him and Braun kind of get into it. Maybe you could even have them be a tag team if you really wanted to. Because I don't think Braun Breaker's going to get the IC title back anytime soon. He's already a 2-time IC title champion. You could say maybe Braun Breaker gets the World Heavyweight Championship, but I think it's going to Seth Rollins. I 1000% believe that he is getting that belt because we have big storylines set up for him. And I think that this would be the perfect one for Cody to take down. Cody does not need to go after Cena anymore. Let's not do it. It's not going to work the way Triple H thinks it's going to work. Triple H, if you're watching this video, because I know you be seeing my damn TikToks, just pivot. It's okay. It's fine. The fans will love the pivot if it makes sense. And if the plan isn't for Cody to take down Seth Rollins, it needs to be. They have so much history there. Cody, once again, taking down a big bad group. It would be great. We don't need him going after Cena because it's just not going to work. And if you're telling me next year we can get Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania in the main event, I am going to love that. That is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to, we're going to forget all about WrestleMania 41. If we can't get Seth Rollins to CM Punk, fine. I don't care. I don't need Seth Rollins versus CM Punk anymore. I'm going to be real with you, man. I saw it once. Great match. Saw a steel cage. Pretty cool. Really weird ending, but pretty cool just for the most of it. And then we can get part 3 somewhere else. We don't need it at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Taking down the Dangerous Alliance 3.0 would be so much better in my opinion. Speaking of taking down stuff, it looks like Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade is not going to be happening. So this past Monday Night Raw, we had Roxanne Perez get involved. We had Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. No. And Stephanie Julia, goodness, I've done this now twice now. We had Roxanne and Julia attack Io Sky and Stephanie Valkyrie. This didn't lead to Roxanne Perez versus Io Sky. Instead, we had Roxanne Perez versus Stephanie, which we already had that set up, so it makes sense. But it doesn't make the most sense for Roxanne to attack Io Sky and not Stephanie, even though she said that she attacked because Stephanie got the moment that she felt she deserved. Whatever. I don't know, man. Really, really stupid. But we didn't have that happen. Instead, we had Roxanne versus Stephanie, and where it looked like we could potentially get Cora Jade to get involved in this whole entire match because of the fact that Roxanne walked out on her at Stand and Deliver, we didn't get that either. And I don't get why we didn't get it. Because I feel like whatever you try to do now, it's not gonna hit. What's Roxanne gonna do? She shouldn't even stay on NXT. She should go to the main roster now. But I said it before and I'll say it again. Cora Jade is not main roster ready. You're not doing that. That sounds disgusting right now. She's not ready to be on the main roster. You're going to just sabotage this woman's career and any kind of chance that she would had of being on the main roster by putting her on the main roster now. I think you should have done it this past Tuesday. You didn't do it. And I think that since you didn't do it, just drop it. Just drop it and wait like a year. Wait a year. Have Roxanne go on like this, maybe like this big run. Allow Cora Jade to just, be kind of in the performance center or wherever she needs to be worked at, just training. Have her go away for a while, and then have her pop back up to be a random attacker for Roxanne Perez whenever you maybe want to turn Roxanne face. Maybe whenever you want to do that, because I think a great way to be able to, turn her face, even though she is on a heel run, is that you say, you just have her say, I'm the woman who built up NXT's women's division. I'm the woman who was putting it on my back. Even when I got injured, I came back. No, my bad. I got injured. My title got taken from me. I came back. I got my dang title back eventually. And then, I just carried this IC title division as well, if you want to put in the IC title division. But it looks like they might put her on SmackDown because of the fact that Becky's probably getting the IC title. So we carry the US title, one of the two, man, whatever you want to do. We have all of this happen, and then we have Cora Jade attack. My bad. We have her do all this, and it might get her over with the crowd because she's going to sound very much so right. She did do a lot of these things that at least it'll get enough of the crowd so that if we make Cora look like an even bigger heel, then we can make Roxanne look like an even bigger baby face. That way we can try her out as a face again to see how it works. Although Ash likes Roxanne in the heel role because Ash thinks Roxanne's a better heel, but she can't play a face as well. I think then you could do that, but I'm going to be real with you. When does Roxanne even get called up to the main roster at this point? Because you're going to have Becky go on some big run in the IC Women's Division. You're having Chelsea Green on Raw still. You're probably going to pass it over to Zelina. Maybe you have Roxanne come up after Zelina gets it. But I don't even think I like that. The match with Roxanne and Zelina will be good, but they both have like the same exact finisher unless you're going to change Zelina's finisher for sure. Like you're just going to actually change it and not still have her do Code Red. But Code Red's kind of synonymous with theirs. I don't know, man. It's gonna be really weird with that. Unless you give Roxanne like a new finisher as well. You could give her like a submission one instead if you really wanted to. I just don't know when you're gonna call her up, and it feels like they're gonna still do this storyline with Roxanne and Cora, and the moment is just not gonna hit as big as it would have hit had Cora Jade cost her the NXT Women's Championship. And if you do that, you still could have had Stephanie Valkyrie beat Roxanne Perez and then have the standoff with Julia and have Jordan Grace in the background, which looked like an absolute menace, by the way, and I really did love that. And let me tell you right now, I'd be scared as hell if I saw this big, meaty woman in the background and I found out that she was staring at me. Oh, yeah, nope, I am running for the hills, baby, the hills. But we also had a bunch of other things happen on NXT that I again, didn't get to talk about. So it's being reported now that Lola Vice is going to be getting called up from NXT very soon. I don't like this at all because I'm going to tell you the list of folks that she's getting called up before. Obafemi, Trick Williams, Wesley, Javon Evans, Jada Parker, Sol Ruka, Kalani Jordan, Fallon Henley, JC Jane, Gigi Dolan, Roxanne Perez. If I didn't say Stephanie already, Stephanie, Julia, Jordan, Fraxium most likely, and a whole long list of other names that I have not named because I probably forgot their name. She's getting called up before all this? Really? For what? Is she just going to be a jobber on the main roster? Because I don't think she's good in any other area other than in the ring. And I think even her in the ring work is suspect at best. It's there. It's not great by any means. She just looks like a, Shayna Baszler that you would get off the streets. And I'm like, this is not a good one, man. No, this looked like as if you get at a yard sale or something like that, like all broken up and all that. You'd be like, hey, you know what, man? You can get that for $3 right there. This ain't good. Ew, nah, man. If Lola Vice is getting called up, this either letting me know one or two things. Either A, they are just paying her too much money. They're like, sweetie, can you work on the main roster or not? Because if not, we just gonna let you go. Or B, they just have a whole lot of faith in Lola Vice, or they want to turn SmackDown or Raw into Gooner Down or Well, Raw. I don't know what you Gunnar. Ew. See, that's why they want to say it. Ew. No. Let's go on to the next one. NXT's men division is absolutely awful, and a lot of these men can't get called up because of the fact that it's just not cared for. Like I said about like a few minutes ago, or it might have been like 15, 20 minutes ago, Shawn Michaels is only focused on the women's division. This men's division has no cohesiveness. There's no synergy. Your faces are your heels. Your heels are your faces. Dark State looks like they've become trash states. You had them going after the champion. You had them going after Trick Williams and Javon Evans, and then we said, all right, you're going to go after the D'Angelo family. Now we're saying, all right, you're going to go after No Quarter Catch Crew. Yeah, this is, I don't know how the hell we already fumbled Dark State. I truthfully believe it's just because Saquon Sugars is way too damn ahead of everybody else in that group. Deion Lennox looks fine, but I don't think he's ready to be on the main roster. I think he can get like a singles run in NXT, but I think he's going to be like at the bottom of the, like very, very bottom. He'll probably be like 8th or 9th or 10th contender. Osiris Griffin is not ready at all, man. He is, and Cutler James, brother, he belong in LFG. Yeah, keep him down there. Oh my gosh, man. Then we got them dressed really weird too. It's just nothing looks great about this group. So he's already kind of just dropped the ball with this group. Ricky Saints is cool. He's there, but you can't have him go out there Obafemi, so you can't do anything really with him. So you need heels for him. Okay, well we got Lexus King now because he dropped his Heritage Cup to Noam Dar. Shout out to Noam Dar, by the way. I do the dog right there, cruiserweight legend. But it's like, you know, what's after Lexus King? Channing Stacks? Maybe if his storyline with Tony D'Angelo finishes that soon. Also, Tony's probably going to get called up. Fraction's probably going to get called up, so you won't have either one of them. Trick Williams should be getting called up, but look like he's going to stay for his 5th year. This guy's going to be a super senior now. Might even stay a 6th year to be a super duper senior. Like, my goodness. Wesley already on his super duper uber make a run senior. Like, my God, bro, this guy got to get called up at some point. This man been here for about 4-5 years now, bro. Come on, buddy. And it's not like as if he's someone that's not ready. This man been ready. This man stay ready. He just don't want to get called up. And I think it's because he knows that he's just going to get lost on the main roster. If Carmelo Hayes did, who had a lot more star power than him, Wesley's just getting lost. I think that's just safe to say. It's just bad. And then you have Ethan Page. Ethan Page needs to get called up by now, baby. Sean Spears, same thing. He need to get called up by now, too. But he's with the Cole Link, so I'm not really mad about that. But Ethan Page got to get called up now. He lost his match at Stand Delivery. He should already be going up this Friday Night SmackDown. I'm assuming that this episode should come out before SmackDown. If it doesn't, he might have already appeared on the show. Trying to check the time. Yeah, this should probably come out. But yeah, no, you're having a lot of your guys probably get called up very soon. You can bring guys down like Grayson Waller. I'm going to be real with you, though. Grayson Waller goes there and does what? He's one heel for Ricky Saints and for Obafemi. Cool. I'd rather see Grayson Waller go to TNA. And I'm not even trying to help TNA out because I can't stand TNA. Grayson Waller would do great things in TNA. I think he would get really much so over. He'd be a great heel for Joe Hendry. He'd be a great heel for Nick Nemeth. He'd be a great heel just for literally anybody on the dang roster. And he would probably just automatically step in and be like one of their top 5 to 6 guys within their male roster. Their male roster sucks too, by the way. But yeah, no, it's really, really bad right now, this NXT's men's division. It's just a thing of ugliness. And it's just very clear that if Triple H was down there with the men's division, it would look so much better. But it's not. Like, we have one character. We have the ruler. That's it. What else? I mean, well, we have Tony D'Angelo, but Tony D'Angelo's getting called up, so we're not even going to count him right now. Channing Stacks, who the hell knows what he's going to do? He just took out Luca. Maybe. Who knows? Either that or he showed Luca his... he showed Luca his little stacks. Or, well, I don't know. I'm not Channing Stacks' partner. I don't know, man. Oh, gosh. Let's go to AEW, man. Things got weird. Oh, man. AEW was pretty fun this week. It was probably the best show so far this week. We started off the night with a really big thing of Blood and Guts. Basically, we have our Blood and Guts teams. It's either going to be a 12-man Blood and Guts match, or it's going to be a 5-man with possibly a Jon Moxley, Samoa Joe run back. We could easily get that match, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be a 5-man, only because I don't think Hangman Adam Page would be involved in this match unless he loses to Kyle Fletcher. And we do Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher Part 3 at Double or Nothing. I'm not mad about it by any means. I think that's actually really good. I just don't think that, like, I mean, we could do Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley. I think it'd be an amazing match. Well, you know what? It actually could lead that way. Okay, I'm not mad about getting Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher Part 3 at Double or Nothing. I'm honestly not. And then we go Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley at All In. Because then that means that we might be able to get a women's main event for All In. Because I'm going to be real with you. Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley? I'm sorry, that's not the main event, man. It's not saying that either one of these guys are not main event status, because they definitely are. That storyline is just this. It's like I said before. It's Will Ospreay just proving that he's the best, that he's on another level the other guys weren't on. Great. It's not main event great, though. Great story nonetheless. So if we do go that route, I could see us getting Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Matthew, Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks, and Kazuchika Okada, which eventually sets up to Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega at All In. I think that could happen. I think we could also just get Samoa Joe and Jon Moxley running it back, and then we take Hangman Adam Page out of that match, and I guess, well, yeah, we would take, well, wait, hold on. It would take him out of the match. It would take John, wait, hold on, wait. Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, maybe a returning Hook if he's available. Maybe you could do that, so you can kind of get him back into the swing of things. And then you have Young Bucks, you have Okada, and then you have Claudio, and you have Wheeler. And then if we do that, what could be better is that if Samoa Joe is about to win, we could have a returning Pac if he is available. I mean, maybe Marina Shafir as well, but we have like a returning Pac get involved in the match so that. Well, you know what? Actually, we could do Marina Shafir getting involved in the match. Here comes Willow Nightingale. And then after those two brawl to the outside, then we have Pac come in to save Jon Moxley so that we can get Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page at All In. And if you have Hangman to throw him, great. If you don't, I guess we're going with Darby for real. But we do have that match set up. We also have Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter set up for Double or Nothing. Super happy for it, man. I think this is going to be absolutely amazing match. Jamie Hayter looks so dang good against Chris Statlander. And I think that this match could also be setting up to a pretty big face run for Mercedes Moné, because I think Athena is going to get involved in this match. And I think she needs to get involved in this match because we cannot drop Mercedes versus Athena. I think that Athena should cost Mercedes that win. And then we have Mercedes cost Athena her Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Then at All In, we have Athena go over this time by getting the win against Mercedes. She gets the TBS title. We could have Mercedes either drop all 3 of the belts because she starts feeling like she's not worthy of holding the belts, or she just starts losing all the belts. She goes into a downward spiral to the point where people actually want to start rooting for her again because she's been such an amazing heel. She has everybody in the world hating her, which is exactly what a heel is supposed to do, not what Paul Heyman did by telling the man that he's going to get deported. So yeah, we could have Mercedes Moné do that, go into this downward spiral, become this super big baby face, and then, kind of have like one last face run, or have a much better face run that she never did have in WWE. It was good. It could have been 10 times better had we, actually made her look like a competent wrestler and not had her lose every time to Charlotte Flair and everybody else she literally lost to, like Alexa Bliss as well. But yeah, I think we could do that with Mercedes. I think Mercedes definitely wants to have at least one big face run in AEW to kind of, silence the folk that said, oh, she can't play both sides, or oh, she's selfish and greedy and all that stuff, or she can only do this, she can only do that. I think it would be great because if Mercedes really does have creative control, like 100% creative control over her character and over her like story and all that stuff, this has been a great one. So you could do that with the face run as well. And if she's going to be doing if she could create a great heel story, that just lets me know that this woman could create stories. So she could create a great face run story, and it's going to be absolutely amazing because if somehow, some way, we get Toni Storm back with that title in 2026 at All In, we could easily set up a Lita Trish thing here with Mercedes and Toni, where Tony came in, great character work, just like Trish, great mic work, just like her. The ring work was suspect. Mercedes Moné came in and really made every woman step up, just like Lita made every woman step up as a wrestler. Mercedes Moné, Lita and Trish obviously had like this really big feud between each other because one was a great wrestler, one was a great character, and it just made for a perfect clash. But in AEW, we haven't really got that between Mercedes and Toni Storm yet because we haven't really got much face-off between the two because we've been keeping each other apart for an entire year, which I'm going to be real with you. Y'all got to applaud Tony Khan for that. He was able to keep these women apart from each other for an entire year. That is crazy to think about, that you had two of your biggest women wrestlers on the roster and you kept them away from each other. Great job on you, Tony Khan. Let's big that up. Let's applaud that. That's amazing. And then, but going into 2026, though, we could finally set this story up between Mercedes and Tony, because I think this year it does need to be Jamie and Tony. That needs to happen. And then we could have Mercedes and Tony next year. We could even have Mercedes holding the belt and then she loses to Toni Storm if you really want to do that. I don't really care. You can do it either way. Or if you don't want to do that just yet, if you want to maybe do that afterwards, you could have Megan Bayne get the title eventually from Jamie Hayter and then set up this like David versus Goliath storyline with Mercedes Moné and Megan Bayne. I would really love that. Also, I just realized that Trish Stratus and Toni Storm have literally the exact same initials with TS. That's funny. They literally are each other. Holy crap, man. Hey, man, so does Nyla Rose. She has the same initials, too. Oh, man. Shout out to Nyla Rose, man. She was really great early on in AEW. That's a trans queen right there, man. Shout out to her. But, we could get the storyline with Mercedes and Megan Bayne. We can get the storyline with Mercedes and Trish. I just don't think we need 5 belts, Moné. I love the thought of it. I said there was a great storyline there. You could have her drop all the belts if we really wanted to and just keep the AEW Women's World Championship belt. But I think I would rather hold that off until next year, or at least sometime down the line. Especially if Mercedes Moné does decide to stay in AEW past, like her contract and like she re-ups and all that stuff. I would love to see that as well. Also, it has been reported that Mariah May was seen backstage with WWE executives looking like she is going to WWE. This is all Ash is going to say. I need a wrestling commissioner. I need somebody in charge of every single, or at least says yes or no to all the things happening within wrestling. So if somebody's going to be making a move and all that stuff, we need a yes or no, because this should not be happening. You should not be allowed to be under contract and talking to other companies. It's not allowed. You're not able to do that in any other sport. So why can you do that in WWE? It just feels, why can you do that in wrestling? It just feels icky. I don't like it. I don't like it for any side, by the way, not just Mariah May going to WWE. Look, man, if that's your dream to go to that company of all places, have a blast, man. Have a blast. Hope the door hits you on the way out. You ain't going to do much. I can tell you that right now, sweetie. You're going to be down in NXT for a good amount of time. But, there just needs to be somebody that says you can't talk to somebody while you're under contract. Here's why. Let's say I'm a really big wrestler, right? I'm signed to WWE. AEW wants me, right? They're like, man, we want to sign you. We want to give you a 4-year contract worth X amount of money. And I see that many zeros. It's about 20 million. Woo, baby, I'm going to be making sure that I get every single penny. And that means that I might go out there and not put on my best matches. And now when I look back at Mariah May and Toni Storm, it doesn't sit right with me that the match was so short and it felt like it just had a whole lot more to it that never happened. And it makes me wonder, did Mariah May go out there and basically say that she's not going to be doing X, Y, Z because she already has something else set up and she is not trying to get hurt to the point where she cannot go to this other company? It makes me wonder, did Mariah May even tell Toni Storm and Tony Khan that? To the point where Tony Khan was like, well, I got to finish this feud because this is one of my biggest storylines of all time. But I'm also going to be like, well, damn, what do I do with them? Mariah May's not going to go out there and perform, so let me just put on like a much shorter match. Maybe that's why it wasn't in the main event now. So now things started getting looked at a little funny. I don't know if that's the case. It could be, couldn't be. Who the heck knows what actually is the case with this entire thing? I just know that I don't like it at all. Before we do head on to the next topic, though, I almost forgot to talk about this. Ricochet there's a lot of things going on right now with him in AEW where he feels like he should be a lot higher than he is. As reported, a lot of fans are now kind of poking jokes at the fact that, he left WWE to go to AEW and said he would get into a world championship within like 6 months, something like that. I think it was him just kind of being very cocky and thinking that he was on a level that he probably wasn't at. Because I'm going to be real with you. Ricochet is a very awesome wrestler. I don't think he has charisma. I don't think he had charisma coming in. He's gotten a lot more charismatic now in his heel role, but I don't think he had charisma coming in to the point where I was like, okay, yeah, this guy could definitely be a world champion. He could sell like no other could sell, and it looks absolutely amazing when he does. His ring work is some of the best ring work on this dang planet. His character and mic work left a lot to be desired. The man just was not that good in the character role. But what started happening with Ricochet is that AEW, obviously, they picked him up and they're like, we have to do something with him because we paid this guy a lot of money. So they were like, okay, well, let's find something to do with him. Tried the face rollout, didn't really work. He did have that one moment where he really looked like a really good face because he was talking to Renee Paquette after a match and he actually had good mic work. He had me interested. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on, Ricochet, I'm a little invested in what you're doing now. But then it went right back to the same mic work over and over. Even when he was going against Swerve and he was kind of like playing that still face-ish role, it just didn't really look that good until Swerve, put him over by making this man become a full-on heel, and it really worked for Ricochet. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know why nobody ever thought about just turning Ricochet heel. He looks like a certain misogynistic man that I will not say the man's name, but we all know exactly who I'm talking about. Did you not ever think that the guy would be able to just possibly play a heel? Because everybody would believe it? Because you looked at Ricochet, you might have to double check to be like, wait, hold on, is that Ricochet? So it actually does work, and he plays the heel role very well. You can say he's very annoying on Twitter, and I will agree with you on that. I think he plays a little too much into his heel role because he just gets very, very odd. Even like his comments with Io Sky that he could do everything that Io Sky could do. Really saw no reason for that, and then apparently he said that back in 2018, so I really don't know. He said it in 2018, then he retweeted it. I don't really know why. It's odd to me. I don't know if a fan took a dig at him and said, look what Io Sky can do compared to Ricochet. I don't really know, man. I find it odd, but I think Ricochet is now solidified within AEW. He's a very annoying, obnoxious heel, similar to what Seth Rollins does to Roman Reigns. Ricochet is going to do that probably to Swerve Strickland, if not to just everybody on the roster. He's going to be an annoyance to society. He's going to be that little pest that you keep trying to slap down and it just won't work. This man is like a cockroach. You can hit him with a shoe. You can hit him with a bomb. It ain't going to matter. He's still going to be around, still crawling and still bothering you. We see he still has the gold scissors even though he lost to Swerve Strickland. Now he's trying to use him against Kevin Knight. He's going to be a great feud for Kevin Knight. And I think Ricochet is going to be like a high-tier mid-card guy. I don't know if I said it on the podcast already, but basically what I mean when I say that is a high-tier mid-card guy, I believe, is somebody that can get onto the main event scene like a Sami Zayn, like a Jey Uso, and they're able to have these great storylines, have great matches, but they don't have the drawing ability that these other actual main event guys have. So you probably wouldn't want them to be world champions. You might give them a world champion, but it's probably not going to be a long one, and it's just more for the feel-good moment. I think Ricochet could get something similar to that. I think Ricochet could become such an annoying pest, but eventually run into a much bigger heel. If they want to turn him back to a face, they could, because they can use much bigger heel to make everybody actually like Ricochet because they feel bad for him, akin to Sami Zayn with the Bloodline. Very annoying little pest, joined the Bloodline, joined some real top dog heels. What happened? Became a babyface once again. Same thing can happen for Ricochet, and maybe now we don't really care about the mic work because we've seen everything that Ricochet went through, or maybe Ricochet, learned how to work as a heel and continues improving his mic work to the point that when he gets back as a face, now it actually works. He doesn't sound as bad on the mic, or we just keep the guy as a heel and he kind of just, pulls, I hate to say this person because they could actually talk on the mic, but he pulls an Edge and he just gets these little transitional runs. He just gets these little, he gets a world title, holds it for 2 weeks, drops it, holds it for a month, drops it, something like that. He just steals one. I could see this guy winning the Casino Gauntlet easily and then stealing a victory like that for somebody. Maybe Hangman gets it, then MJF gets it, and then let's say, I don't know. You have somebody random get it. Some like random babyface get it from MJF and then they lose it like 2-3 months later because Ricochet cashed in. Or you have Will Ospreay get it from Jon Moxley and then, he's doing XYZ and then boom, out of nowhere he has this awesome match, but it's like a super physical match and then he's just laying out right there and here comes Ricochet. The match isn't over yet, by the way. And then here comes Ricochet to get involved in the match, cashes in, gets the pin on Will Ospreay or the other person. 1, 2, 3, boom, he's your new world champion. And then he holds it for like a month, something like that, and Will Ospreay or the other guy gets it from him. I can see these happening with Ricochet. I don't think he's ever going to be like the guy, but I think he can be one of the guys. He was doing that with Brock Lesnar. He did that with AJ Styles where he had matches against them for world championships. And it's like, I think Ricochet could do the same thing here, except he could actually claim one of these world championships. I should have said Miz instead of Edge. Miz would be much better because Miz did get the world championship, but he got it because The Rock ended up helping the Miz out, stuff like that. So I could see something happening here with Ricochet and somebody else. I could see Ricochet potentially still joining the Hurt Syndicate. Maybe what the Hurt Syndicate are doing are reverse of what the Bloodline did, where we get our super dominant tag team, then we get our Roman Reigns. Where the Bloodline started with Roman Reigns, then went to Jey Uso, then Jimmy Uso, then Sami Zayn. Oh, no, wait, no. Was it Solo Sikoa first? It might have been Sami Zayn first. Sami Zayn, I think, and then Solo Sikoa. One of the two. It was one of the two. Maybe we do the same thing here. Maybe we get our tag teams first of, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin. Then we get, which, by the way, did y'all know that Bobby Lashley was apparently Hispanic? Apparently, Hispanic Heritage Month, Bobby Lashley was, shouted out in WWE. I did not know that man was Hispanic. Interesting. It's just very, very odd. I don't know if that's true or not, though. I feel like that's not, but Chris Van Vliet said his name on the podcast when we were talking to Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross saying that he's Puerto Rican, which kind of actually looks Puerto Rican. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the hair for me. But yeah, no, they got their Bobby Lashley, they got their Shelton Benjamin, then they get their MJF to be the top guy of the group. And then they add their Sami Zayn, which would be Ricochet, or they even add their enforcer before adding it, which could be their enforcer could be Cedric Alexander. Then they add a Ricochet, which Cedric Alexander as an enforcer, it might hit. I don't know, maybe it could. But then you get your Sami Zayn, which is your Ricochet, and then you kind of just start bullying him and stuff like that, and he eventually becomes a super duper over mega babyface. I think the only thing is you might need to find somebody that's cool with Ricochet because Sami Zayn helped out Kevin Owens, so there's that. But you do something there with that. I don't really know. But I think that, Ricochet is just fine where he's at. He's actually now solidified. In WWE, it was always a thing of like, well, is he a mid-carder? Is he a tag team guy? Is he a jobber? I think he's solidified now in that he has a character. He has a very over character. He can just be really anywhere within that mid-card to main event scene, akin to Sami Zayn in what was that, like 2021, 2020, might be like 2021 when he was playing the conspiracy theorist, and then 2022 when he eventually got around the bloodline and all that. Yeah, it was 2022. He got around the bloodline because of what was it? The War Games match, right? Yeah, and then Solo Sikoa also came around that time as well because Drew versus Roman at Clash of the Castle, Clash of the Castle, and Solo gets involved. Yep, there we go, boom. So yeah, I could see that happening with Ricochet as well. I think Ricochet is going to be perfectly fine, though. We should not worry at all. I had to go throw a sweater on. It was getting pretty dang cold in here. My goodness gracious, man. Must have been all the cold takes I've had today. But, so let's go ahead and get into these last couple of topics because I feel like a lot of them kind of mix very well together in a sense. I'm going to start off with Nia Jax. No, let me start off with the Women's Evolution first because we're going to go from here all the way to the Bayley and Karrion Kross shooting on WWE. So we found out that Evolution's PLE, not the dang group with Batista, Randy Orton, Ric Flair, Triple H. The PLE is going to be set in the Mohegan Sun Stadium, which is the Connecticut Sun Stadium. Now, mind you, what I'm about to say, I'm not taking a shot at the Connecticut Sun by any means. I love women's basketball. I love WNBA a lot. My favorite team was the Sparks. Shout out to my dogs, Cameron Brink, Rakia Jackson. Now we got my dog, Kelsey Plum. Man, I really wish we could have got the number one overall pick, though, because we could have got Paige Beckers. But I'm hoping that we get Juju soon. If we get Juju or Olivia Miles, going to be absolutely elite. One of the two. I need one of the two. I really needed Paige Beckers, though, man. Damn. Oh, my gosh. But nah. the Connecticut Sun are not going to be a great team going forward. They lost a lot of their top players. They lost, I want to say it was either the forward or the center they lost. One of the two. It could have actually been both of them. I'm very, very just blanking on a lot of stuff right now. And it's just like, with them kind of coming off, you have the New York Liberty on the rise. Well, New York Liberty been on the rise, but they just got their WNBA championship. You had the Aces get it last year. You have the Sparks on the rise. You have Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark. Obviously, you know, Caitlin Clark's been big in WNBA right now. Why didn't you pick one of these teams? Why did you go to the most obscure place possible? I get it. You know, Connecticut, this is where Paige Beckers was at. She played for UConn and all that stuff. But, like, you could have also went to Dallas if you really want to do a whole Paige Beckers thing, because Dallas Wings did draft Paige Beckers #1 overall. It feels very odd to me, because I feel like these other places, they would have sold out for the women. I feel like a lot of folks, especially New York, a lot of folk in New York mess with the Liberty heavily. Their mascot is super loved in New York. The elephant, the lady that plays the elephant, might be a lady. I'm not actually sure. The person who plays the elephant. There we go. Much better. The Sparks, they're on the rise as well. The Aces are super big in Las Vegas. They were just there in Las Vegas. And Dallas Wings, I mean, hey, man, you ain't really got much else going for you over there, okay? You got the Dallas Mavericks, who just traded Luka a while back. You got the Dallas Cowboys. We know exactly what they are. San Antonio, I mean, well, I guess we just stay in Dallas. But then again, most Texas teams just kind of look trash to begin with. So it's like you could have went to any one of these other places, and I feel like especially the Dallas Wings, had they found that like Paige Beckers were there, the fans, oh my gosh, they are there so quick. They're there so quick. Caitlin Clark, if they find that Caitlin Clark is going to be ringside, they're there so quick. Maybe it's not to see, you know, wrestling, but now you get new wrestling fans in the same way that you were trying to do with Logan Paul, right? Or do you just not want this audience? Is there specific audiences that you're trying to grab? I don't know. Seems weird to me. But now when I look at a lot of the other things like this Bayley situation, this Nia situation, it makes me wonder, is there a lot of undervaluing going on when it comes to Bayley? I'm going to get to that in a second, though, because I want to get to Nia Jax now, because I do think Nia Jax in a lot of this situation is also into that whole Bayley thing as well, because Nia Jax at the roast of WrestleMania, she was roasting everybody: Rey Mysterio, Cody Rhodes, Michael Cole, and Tiffany Stratton, and Charlotte Flair. And, you know, she was just having fun with it all. I'm pretty sure all of that was just jokes. If you're taking it too serious, if you're taking it seriously, that's just on you being a soft little baby. I'm going to be real with you. I'm from Gen Z. I'm in the older part of Gen Z. I'm literally at the tail end of Gen Z, 97. I grew up around a lot of the real roast. I grew up around, you know, friends actually roasting each other and not just cussing at each other and calling each other slurs and all that stuff. So it's like, this is all just roast. Nia Jax is a 40-year-old woman. This is roasting right here. This ain't no like hate, anything like that. But I think that it may have been a little dig at Charlotte Flair. I'm not going to lie to you, because while Nia and Charlotte are best friends, you know, I mean, at least we know that they are, or we assume that they are, because Nia was Charlotte's bridesmaid at her wedding. I don't know if it was Andrade that she got married to, and that's when Nia was the bridesmaid, or when. But we know that they're best friends, at least, or at least a very, very, very good friendship, because I don't think you're going to pick anybody that's not your best friend to be your bridesmaid. So I wonder if Nia and Charlotte still are best friends, but Nia took a little shot at Charlotte, maybe because she was basically trying to say, you know, Charlotte, grow up. You know, you doing a little too much right now with Miss Tiffany, because Nia and Tiffany are best friends as well. You know, Nia be going around collecting all the white blonde hair folk like as if they Dragon Balls and all that. She best friends with everybody: Alexa Bliss, Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, Cody Rhodes. Hey, man, I'm telling you right now, she's probably real best friends with Rhea Ripley when she had blonde hair. She's also best friends with Liv Morgan as well. So yeah, a lot of the white blondes. But it could have been possibly her just, you know, kind of saying like, you know, you ain't need to be there. You didn't need to be doing all this. Oh, my bad. Not you didn't need to be there. You didn't need to be doing what you was doing in the ring with Miss Tiffany Stratton. Or maybe it was a thing of Nia felt that she should have been in that match. I mean, Nia worked her ass off all of 2024, was going so dang crazy for the women's division. I believe she was the MVP of 2024, not just for the women's side, but for totality. It could have been a little bit of a dig at her, saying that, you know, we didn't need you back in the ring. You know, you have one of the best runs in WWE's women's history. You are an absolute icon within this women's division, but this is other women's time to shine. I just got on. This is my time to shine. I'm going to be real with you. I would have rather have seen Nia versus Tiffany at WrestleMania than Charlotte versus Tiffany. And I'm not saying that to like slight Charlotte Flair by any means, because I think Charlotte Flair is amazing, one of the greatest of all time. I just think that there was a much better story there with Nia and Tiffany, since Nia never did get her rematch versus Tiffany. No, she did, but like Candice got involved in all this. Like, she didn't get like a proper rematch or anything like that. I would have loved to have seen Nia versus Tiffany. Hell, I would have loved to have seen Nia go in with the championship and Tiffany not have the championship. Obviously, not have Money in the Bank either. Get it to somebody else. That would have been a much better match to me. So like Charlotte and Tiffany, it's like, it's cool, but it does feel kind of like, here we go again. We got to go grab the 4 horsewomen, especially the 2 ones that are so damn over, because you know, we just need to have them have big moments. Same thing with Becky Lynch. Oh my God, here we go. We got to take Bayley out, put Becky Lynch in, because Becky's much bigger than Bayley and all that stuff. And it's like, it does feel like either A, it was just, you know, Nia trying to clear the air on a lot of this whole BS going around that Tiffany shouldn't have been shooting on Nia with the way, shouldn't have been shooting on Charlotte the way she was going at her and all that. And maybe basically saying that, like, you know, Charlotte's cool, she's recovered from all this, and that it's, you know, it's cool to take these shots because it's wrestling and all that. It's either that or B, she was really just trying to, you know, tell Charlotte to basically be quiet. Like, you know, you gonna do all that to Tiffany, but you ain't gonna do that to me. We know you wouldn't do that to me. It's one of the two. Charlotte did say that, I don't know, I'm just trying to wrestle. So I feel like Charlotte did, I don't know. I think a lot of this could be some shooting. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. But now we gotta talk about Bayley and Karrion Kross. Starting off with Bayley, because I say a lot of this other stuff could potentially be put onto this Bayley situation, because obviously if women are being so undervalued to the point that they're getting a 10,000 capacity stadium, not even a Raw or SmackDown size, barely over an NXT size, like, come on, 10,000 for the women, really? Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley. You're probably gonna have Tiffany Stratton there, probably gonna have Roxanne Perez there. You got a lot of your big women there. You might have the women, you might have Chelsea Green there, you might have Lyra Valkyria there. You got a lot of top women. Like, come on, you're telling me that folks ain't gonna want to watch this? But it feels like they might be undervaluing, which we know that WWE does undervalue wrestlers, but I feel like when it comes to the women's side of things, they might undervalue them even more. And I think that this, you know, that this Evolution PLE being a week after SummerSlam, so you're not really going to get as big of a build up to it. Well, you might, but you're not going to have as many women on SummerSlam, so you might have like an all men's PLE at SummerSlam and then an all women's PLE at Evolution. And you're probably going to be focusing on the men a lot more, especially if we're having Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena part 2. Yeah, no, you're definitely focusing on the men a lot more. If you have Braun Breaker versus somebody there, like a Dominic Mysterio, or if Dom loses his IC belt before then, and it's like some, you know, top guy like a Sheamus or something like that, it gets the belt from him, then we get Sheamus versus Braun Breaker, that's going to be probably more focused on as well. So I feel like, and Jacob Fatu too, like we can get Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa there. They're going to be definitely focusing on the men a lot more, to the point where we're going to get a week's worth of build-up for the women. That's crazy. Then you got to add in the fact that folks are going to be paying for SummerSlam tickets that's 2 nights. They ain't going to be able to pay for no damn Evolution. So that stadium might not even be sold out. So then it's like WWE is going to be able to be like, basically not saying it, but saying it. Look it, why should we care about women's wrestling when it couldn't even sell out? Which connects to the Bayley thing of, you already undervalue some of your folk. Now you're undervaluing her even more because she is a woman, which just doesn't feel right to me if that is the case. I do think that there is definitely a lot of undervaluing there, because you don't really put her on talk shows. Even when she was on top, you didn't put her on talk shows. You didn't really have her on posters. You didn't have Bayley on a poster until it was Bayley versus Sasha, or when it was Bayley versus Becky as well. Like, come on, man. We can't put Bayley anywhere. Like, come on, that's crazy. We couldn't even get Bayley versus Io on posters going into WrestleMania. Like, come on, man. No, that's not right. It's not right at all. Bayley definitely does feel at least underappreciated by WWE. And And like this could be a work. I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe Triple H is giving a lot of the wrestlers there like the freedom to kind of, voice their frustrations, and that's why Karrion Kross went and said what he said. That's why Bayley said what she. That's what Bayley said what she said. Freaking Sally sells seashells by the sea. Why could I say that perfectly? Oh my goodness, man. I swear, tongue twisters I can always say perfectly. It's just speaking English is hard. Like I'm starting to believe that English wasn't my first language and I just never knew it. Like maybe like I learned Spanish as a baby. And mind you, I can't remember anything before the age of 5, so I could have known Spanish as a baby, and then just someone taught me English out of nowhere and I forgot all my dang Spanish. I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. But yeah, no, I think that could be a very big part of it, that Bayley is being undervalued heavily at WWE. Then you gotta look at the whole fact that Bayley says not only does she feel undervalued, she feels like she's not even anywhere near Becky or Charlotte, which again just kind of goes into like the undervaluing thing of like, Bayley is one of your 4 horsewomen. Bayley and Sasha are partly responsible for for the Women's Revolution even happening with their NXT TakeOver match. Bayley is had one of the biggest face moments against Charlotte. She probably had one of the biggest wins against Charlotte, because seeing Bayley with this jobber gimmick, that's what the hugger gimmick was, this jobber gimmick, go over Charlotte Flair, that was a really big thing. It was super monumental. And then you just kind of did nothing with her afterwards until we got to 2019, where she eventually became a heel, aligned with Sasha. Her and Sasha are just running the women's division. They had the women's tag belts. They had the women's, the women's SmackDown and Raw championships. I think they were also the inaugural tag team champions in that Elimination Chamber match as well. Then you had eventually Bayley and Sasha. You had Sasha. No. Did you have Sasha turn on Bayley? I think Sasha finally broke free of Bayley. Then you had that big old match at Hell in a Cell. Then we got, we had Bayley with the Ding Dong Hello gimmick going against Bianca to be a big heel for her. Then we had Bayley not really doing much after that, and then she came back with Damage Control, and that was a really big moment for her. But like, Bayley's done a lot, man. She's done a lot. So for her to not be treated like as if she's one of the top 3 women of the 4 horsewomen, instead of being like, under the top 2, like it should be all 1A. Like, I don't think Charlotte Flair should be treated any higher than Bayley. I'm going to be real with you, because if anybody should get the special privilege, it is Becky. Becky was the man. Becky was one of the biggest superstars of all dang time. She was the face of the company, not just the face of the women's division. When she was the man, she was that one. She was the face. She was going bar for bar with anybody on the dang mic. So she getting different privilege, I'm not as mad at, because of the fact that it's Becky Lynch. Like, folks know Becky Lynch, #1 bookseller and all that stuff. Charlotte Flair, though, I'm sorry to say this, she's known for the last name. I love me some Charlotte. She has some top tier matches. Amazing wrestler. She's known specifically for the last name. There was another name she was going to use, like Elizabeth something, that didn't have Flair at the last name. I guarantee you, if she took that name, she's not going to be what she is right now. She is not going to be propped up the way she is. But because it's Charlotte Flair and she's a super big name, we treat her better than we treat Bayley, which I'm going to be real with you. Bayley has better moments than Charlotte. She does. All of Charlotte's moments are not that big. She ain't got a great championship run that you can look back at and be like, that's one of the best women's championship runs of all time. All of the feuds she was in were better because of the other person, whether it be Becky or Sasha. Rhea actually did add a lot to that second feud, I will say that. Charlotte kind of built up the first feud. But then again, Rhea did come to the main roster, so there's that as well. But a lot of it is on the other person. When it comes to Bayley, she did a lot of the things. So it really, in my opinion, goes Becky, Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte. The reason why I put Sasha above Bayley is because I feel like Sasha got screwed over more than Bayley, and she still did just as much, in my opinion. Especially like that first couple, like the first 2 years when she was just going back and forth with Charlotte. Yeah, no, that's absolutely amazing. The whole stuff with Bayley as well. I feel like she really just added a different dimension to that whole entire storyline with her and Bayley. And then she had the big moment with with Bianca as well, being able to main event, which Bayley still has not been able to main event WrestleMania. That's another reason why she does feel undervalued. It's another reason why she feels underappreciated. But one day she will be undesirable, undeniable, to undisputed. I forgot Cody's whole thing. I was almost there. But yeah, no, for Bayley, it definitely does feel like, exactly what Karrion Kross was saying, is that there's stuff that is so great that it's not given to the ones that are good. It is given to the ones that are great. Like when Karrion Kross said that he was writing stuff and that he would go to the creative team about it, and they'd be like, that's great, but we can't give it to you, though. We got to give you the good stuff. So your Killer Kross gimmick in NXT, we got to take that from you. You can't have that. It's too good for you. We can't have you overshadowing Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre and all these other guys. We got to have you in the mid-card. Actually, we got to have you in the jobber section because we got a lot of mid-card guys right now like Sami Zayn that we really want to prop it to the main event scene. So, yeah, you're going to have to wait your turn, buddy, which does kind of suck. But I feel like the same thing was probably being said to Bayley, that we can't give you what you want. Like, I clown on what Bayley wanted to do with Damage Control, where she wanted Toni Storm, Alba Fire, Io Sky, Raquel, and Dakota Kai and herself. Maybe it would have been good. We don't know the full story. So maybe it could have been good. Who knows? Maybe even though it has no synergy, it could have worked out well. I just think that Bayley was always given the decent or good stuff and never given the elite stuff. Like the hugger gimmick, that's a jobber gimmick. Ding dong hello, kind of feels like a jobber gimmick, because it feels like a low tier mid card kind of gimmick. It doesn't feel like anything that would be like in like the main event scene. And then Damage Control was great, but she was always the one taking the pins in Damage Control. Io looked like a superstar, which, mind you, she wanted Io to be her champion either way, whichever version of Damage Control she got. But like, she never really did much though. I don't think she won a single belt while part of Damage Control until she dethroned Io Sky. So she didn't really do much other than just look like the jobber. Now, let's be real. Would this have happened to Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair if they had a faction? No, this would not have. If either one of them led a faction, they would be the champion. But for Bayley, it was like, no, we need Io Sky to be our champion because it's Io Sky and she has to be. So I do believe that Bayley was shooting on WWE. I 1000% believe she was. I don't think this was, I think it was a shoot, but not like I'm trying to take a direct shot at you, more like I'm hiding around the corner, I'm going to do a little pew pew, you know like when you playing like Call of Duty and all that, or you playing some kind of game, like, you just be like, you go around the corner, you let the gun shoot off and all that, but you're not even looking in. Yeah, that's what Bayley was doing. I'm pretty sure. Now, carrying across, that man was shooting for sure. He was shooting from the hip. Now, matter of fact, he wasn't shooting from the hip. He was literally locked on to Triple H like a sniper and took a shot at him because, man, he is definitely upset with WWE with the fact that the indie guys, the guys that really grinded their whole lives to get here, are not being appreciated. It's all these guys like the NIL athletes and the YouTube famous guys that are the ones that are, getting the big shots and all that, and all the rest of us, we just got to scrap and claw and get all the scraps still. So it's like, that's not right by any means, because Cody Rhodes is a guy that left WWE, scrapped and clawed his way all the way to the top, and then got to the top and got the big championship. All these other guys, though, that are trying to scrap and claw to the top, they're not really getting it. It's the guys with the last name. It's the guys that came from a big major sport. It's the guys that were big on social media. It's not the ones that are actually trying to, work their butts off to get to the top. It feels like WWE, which, mind you, WWE's always been this way. It just hasn't been as prevalent before because Vince McMahon would push a lot of those indie guys like the AJ Styles, the Finn Balor, the Shinsuke Nakamura, the Samoa Joes, the et cetera, especially if you came from another company. But WWE's always been this way. Still, though, in that it's always cared for the more popular guy. That's why even the ones with the indies, the ones that came from there or they came from another company, they always cared for the bigger ones. So, like, AJ Styles got championships, but Shinsuke Nakamura didn't. Samoa Joe was never as popular, at least, as AJ Styles, so he didn't get the big championship. Finn Balor was super popular, so he got his Universal title shot. Eventually, when he got hurt, that's when everything kind of just went all downhill. But WWE's always showed that if you're more popular, not just within WWE, but worldwide, we're going to give you that shot instead of giving somebody else that shot. Now, in this current era, it's become more a thing of at least I guess we're calling it the Paul Levesque era, that if you're famous, now you definitely will get something over the indie guys. If you're more known on social media, now you definitely will get more than the other folks. That's what it's become. And that's where it's like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right because, mind you, I'm someone who's pretty big on social media as well. I definitely worked my butt off to get to where I got to. So it's not saying that like I didn't work to get somewhere. I'm not saying that, Logan Paul didn't work to where he got, because he did. He had to build the platform up from the ground up and all that stuff. But he had a lot of money behind it. He's not similar to me. He had a whole lot of money. He comes from a very rich family. So it's like you have this guy and you have this guy beating AJ Styles, a legend within WWE, a legend within TNA, a legend within New Japan Pro Wrestling, a legend within the Indies. This guy has made his mark in wrestling that not many others could ever even touch. There is very, very few that could come close, and even less than that could actually that could easily be neck and neck with him for one of the greatest careers of all time when it comes to just wrestling in totality. This guy is also a super big name, but he's not Logan Paul big. So he can't beat Logan Paul. He can't do it because Logan Paul is just too big to beat. And it's just like, it doesn't feel right. I don't really like that. And I think a lot of wrestlers don't like that either. Like, I don't know if Karrion Kross has an issue with Logan Paul by any means. I'm pretty sure he's had an issue with what Logan Paul portrays, is that this guy that has little to no background in wrestling, probably never even was like that big of a wrestling fan, or at least maybe like he was like somewhat of a wrestling fan, but not like, a super in-depth wrestling fan. He's probably like more like the casual guy that liked like the Stone Colds and all the top guys, but didn't really know the guys in the middle and all that stuff, and didn't really care for the tag teams. This guy got to the top. He got to the United States Championship 250 days. He got to go against Roman Reigns. He got to go against Cody Rhodes. He got to, win at WrestleMania multiple times against like Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, The Miz. Like, he got to beat a lot. No, like, he won with The Miz at WrestleMania. Beat a lot of top guys. Didn't he beat Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio that year? I think so. So like, he beat a lot of these top guys. But he didn't earn any of these. He doesn't deserve any of these because he didn't actually put the work in that these other guys put the work in. And I think that's what Karrion Kross is saying when he's shooting on WWE. I don't think it's that he has a bad relationship with Triple H. Something that Bayley says. She has a great relationship with him. I think it's more so a thing of like, look what you're doing to wrestling. You're hurting wrestling. Now we have WWE Unreal. Now we're just going to be really just ruining kayfabe and all that by letting us know how the writing goes, letting us know how the storylines get written up and all that, letting us know how wrestlers get into character and all that, which I don't need to see. Like, it's just too much. And it's just becoming basically more or less of a reality show at this point in time. It's not even really much of wrestling anymore. So it's like, I understand what Karrion Kross is 100% saying, and I am on Karrion Kross' side 1,000%. Linking somebody's contract is always a weird thing. And just the current era that we're in, seeing a guy like AJ Styles lose, like, imagine if you had told somebody 10 years ago, like 10 years ago with AJ Styles in WWE, that he would have lost to a YouTuber. Everybody would be disgusted. Nobody would believe you. And if you came back from the future with, if you went into the past with proof, they would all probably stop watching WWE. I guarantee you, if you told people the year after AJ Styles had his big amazing run in WWE, that this man was going to that he was going to lose to a YouTuber, and 2025, people would all be off of WWE because that's just a slap in the face to wrestling. Like, sure, it's always kind of had the famous people and all that stuff, but they've always been controlled. Even Bad Bunny, yes, he beat Damian Priest, but he's never gotten like, world title shots. He's never done anything like super crazy within WWE. Logan Paul definitely has. And it's just like, ugh. Heck, even with IShow Speed taking Tozawa's spot, That felt weird to me. I don't mind if IShowSpeed is in the Rumble. That's whatever. But literally seeing his spot get taken because Tozawa got taken out, that doesn't feel right. Like, you just did that right in front of us. You took this man out and you just had IShowSpeed come in to take somebody else out as well and then get speared by Braun Breaker and get thrown out. Like, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't feel right to me. So, no, Bayley is definitely shooting on WWE. Karrion Kross is definitely shooting on WWE. I'm even going to say that I think Nia Jax might be, taking a little shot at Charlotte Flair. There is a lot of mess going on here in WWE. But let's go ahead and end things there, though, shall we? I definitely hope y'all did enjoy this episode. As always, if you did, the liking, the subscribing definitely helps out if you're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the liking, the following, the rating, all that good stuff. Make sure wherever you're at, you are sharing it. You're helping the podcast get as big as it possibly can. Remember that if you ever have any questions or comments that you want on the pod, drop them on the episodes. If you're not able to comment, go to Spotify, go to YouTube, just drop a comment. I will still, shout you out anyways, and I will respond to your comments as well. But for now, y'all, that's it. I'm out. Peace, everybody. Let me do my little Disney outro. Ooh. Oh, wait, I'm not even in the corner. Isn't it like way over here? Yeah, it's like, wait, hold on. Do you do the ears or do you do it the body? I think it's the body and then the ears, and then we get the little part of the head, and we get the other part of the ear, and then, ooh, I don't know how I did this. Y'all have a great one, y'all. I'm out.